Unexpected, thank you.
Thank you, Jan. And now, the lady you've all been waiting for, Miss Jan Brent.
Thank you for that nice welcome and birthday song. That was amazing. You probably saw from our bus out front that we came from Boston, Massachusetts. We're just on the beginning of a 3-week book tour. And it's wonderful to be among all you book lovers because I'm a book lover and it's a great tribe to be in. And this is an old-fashioned tale. And a lot of times I will think of a story that I will write it myself. And often someone of my animals will do something funny and that will give me an idea. But this one I read an adult novel. It was just a little parable about this old merchant who had a pair of slippers he couldn't get rid of, and every time he threw them away, they would come back in an unexpected way. So I thought I would change it up a little bit because which would be more fun to draw, a tiger or an old man merchant? A tiger. So that's the one. You follow my thinking right there. So I have told you about how I got the idea for that book, because I know a lot of you are either writing your own stories or you are making up stories as you draw a picture. And that's a wonderful thing to do because you have this creative streak in you that needs to come out because you might find that you have something that makes you very happy by doing it. And I'm going to draw you a picture of the tiger, and I'm going to make it like a drawing lesson. And for everybody that is over on that side, you won't be able to see in the beginning. So what I'm going to do is just turn the easel a couple of times as I'm drawing. And I'll try to explain I'll color it in. And I'll give you some of mine. And they're not really secrets, but they're just like little tidbits about drawing that you might be able to use when you do my challenge, which at the end of my talk, I'm going to give you a challenge about your artwork. So here's a rectangle, which is just a square with 2 long sides on it. So I'm drawing a rectangle, and that's going to be the body of the tiger. I'm going to show him from the side, and then I'll have his head looking towards you. Because if you remember this little tip, I think you'll think that it will improve your drawing. What it is, and I have a demonstration where I lose my dignity, is if you're drawing a character, it could be an animal or a person or even a robot, pay the most attention where you're drawing that character's eyes, because that's what we look to try to find out what someone's thinking. You know, you have body language, but you also, those eyes, human beings look at other people's eyes to see. So even though it's an animal, we even look at our dog, cat, and look at their eyes to see what they're thinking. So my demonstration is I cover up my face except for my eyes, and then I turn around and I'll think of something like either happy, sad, an emotion, scared, surprised, and then when I turn around, I want you to see if you can figure it out without seeing anything except just my eyes. And you can say it out loud. So I'll do 4 of them. So are you ready? So you're going to say it out loud. Here comes number 1, okay? Here comes number 1. So I'm going to turn around and you try to guess my emotion. Happy! Well, there were a few sads there, and I don't know what you were thinking, but that was underneath there. The eyes. So what I'm going to do is accentuate the top of the eye. He looks not really mad, but he looks like riveted, very, let's say, intense. He's looking very intense. And then he has kind of a ruff right there. And then he's heavily muscled. So here's his legs. And I've made a little mistake here. I should have made the line where the ground is a little bit lower. But in a way, I'm glad I did that because I can tell you that an artist is always making mistakes and fixing the mistakes. Making a mistake and fixing the mistakes. And that's why I sketch first with a pencil, and then I have an opportunity to erase it if I need to. So I don't want to hear about anyone getting discouraged and saying, I can't draw. Because you can draw, and it just takes sometimes a couple of tries. So there's the orange, and he was very orange. And then this is the shading part, which I think is a good way to make him look more 3D, which is I'm just going around the edge with a little bit of a darker shade, all around the border of this tiger, or the margin of the tiger. And you'll see how it will make him look more rounded. 3D stands for three-dimensional. And the guides in the park are very knowledgeable, and they know each tiger by looking at its face, this different stripes on its face. I thought was really cool. You know, the baby tiger, they'll say, oh, that's the one with the big, looks like mascara, or this is the one that has the stripes on its, right close to its nose, and they almost look like the shape of a flame. Sometimes we'd see just a pile of feathers on the floor of the forest, and that would mean the tiger has been there and has had a meal. So just a few more stripes and I'll sign my work. Because I hope that you will do that too. And put the date on. It's December 1st, 19, not because, art is an interesting thing. You don't really need a teacher for it. If you just draw, and draw is kind of like learning to ride a bike. You might need a little bit of help or advice to get you straight at the beginning, but you really learn, not like swimming where you really need a teacher, but art you can just keep practicing and you'll get better and better. And if you put the date, I think you'll be amazed that like in 6 months, if you keep drawing, you will find that you're getting better and better, and you'll amaze yourself. And that's always a great feeling to amaze yourself. That's good. So because you have your own set of talents and gifts. Like one person might be really good at putting colors together, another person might be good at architecture or doing mechanical things, cars and boats. Another person might be good at flowers and designs or just beautiful designs. So my challenge to you is in the next couple of days, you put the kitchen timer on an hour, get your art materials and tell your family you want to have a little alone time. Because you really have to be by yourself for a while so that you can let your imagination contribute to your picture. Your imagination, you don't even know when it's going to happen. You'll be drawing away. You might decide you want to draw your family, the family's dog, or a best friend. It could be a person. And then you start thinking, what would the weather be like? Is the hair of the person like blowing in the wind? And what are the smells? What are the sounds that are going on? And you add all this to your picture, and then all of a sudden, this is when the magic happens. Your surroundings kind of disappear and become less important, and then your picture becomes more and more important until you feel like you can walk inside. And that's the magic, and that's what happens because of our imaginations. And I hope it will happen to you, because it happens to me almost every day, and that's why I love to draw, and most of all, illustrate children's books. So thank you very much.